Hi, and welcome to Google Chrome Extensions, making life easy. Extensions are small programs that run when you need them to make your online life easier. Extensions can be retrieved from the Chrome Web Store, and the ones that I'm going to show you today are free. There are thousands of them just waiting out there for you to use in your online life. Most of them are free. Some of them do require a payment, but like I said, the ones I'm going to show you today are completely free. And there are a set of extensions for teachers, for students, and for your at-home life. For teachers, I'm going to show you how to highlight to search, how to email a web page directly to your email, how to shorten a web page using just extensions. For students, I'm going to show you some things that'll be great for your special ed students or maybe students who get distracted when they're looking at things online. And also I'm going to show you just a couple that you might use in your online time when you're at home. Let's get started with some extensions. Here we are at the Chrome Web Store. I'm going to use the first extension that I want to show you to also show you how to install your extensions. In the Chrome Web Store, the search box is over here on the left. The first one I'm going to show you is highlight to search. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my search term, and it popped up right here. And then I'm going to click on extensions because I only want to see extensions for this particular tutorial. The very first one that popped up is highlight to search. Over here on the right, there's a button that says free. And if there's a cost that goes along with any of these extensions, it'll tell you how much they are. The ones I'm going to show you, like I said, are completely free. Go ahead and click free. And then you'll get a pop-up that asks you if you'd like to add this to your Chrome. And I'm going to click add. Now you'll get a notification that says it's been added. And you can go ahead and X out of that. For some extensions, you're going to get an icon or a button up here that goes next to the Omnibox. And the Omnibox is just Google's fancy term for address bar. This particular extension doesn't require a button. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it does now. And I have pulled up over here in another tab an article from the New York Times, and it's on a museum that allows visitors to touch paintings. And I'm going to find a word in here. Let's try masterpieces. And I'm going to highlight it. If you notice, this little magnifying glass pops up. And when it does, it gives you a search bar. And I'm going to type in, I'm going to click on masterpieces. And it'll take you to another tab that gives you a Google search on the word masterpieces. This is great if you are getting ready for a new unit, researching. It allows you to research and search a little bit quicker. This is also great for students who are working on research. All right, I'm going to take you back to the Chrome Web Store. I'm not going to show you how to install all of these because I think you only need to see that once. The next extension I'd like to show you is called Tab Resize. Sometimes I need to have two screens side by side. Maybe if I'm grading papers or essays in Google Classroom and I want to put the grades directly into my grade book, I'll want side by side screens, which is a little difficult to do in Chrome. However, Tab Resize allows you to very, very easily take two of your tabs, any two of your tabs up here, and put them side by side with very little work. So I want the Chrome Web Store next to my search for masterpieces. So I'm going to click on the tab that I want on the right hand or the left hand side of my screen. And I'm going to go ahead and click Tab Resize. And you'll get this pop-up screen, and it'll ask you, what do you want things to look like? And you can have 4 screens, 4 by 4. You can have 2 screens on top of each other. I like my screens right next to one another. There are some other settings here. I've honestly never used these. I use this one a lot. And if you notice here, my Chrome Web Store showed up on the right-hand side, and my Google search showed up on the left. Now I can add grades. I can research from 2 pages. If you want to meld these back together into one big browser, all you need to do is grab the tab and drag it over on top of one or the other of your browsers, and then click this little box and it'll make it big again. I really like this one. That's probably the extension that I use the most. All right, now if you notice, I have quite a few tabs open here, and sometimes when I'm working, I end up with 10 or 15 tabs and they're real tiny and I can't tell exactly what each one of them is. There's a great extension called One Tab. And for One Tab, you're going to get a button up here and it's this little blue funnel. And what it does is it will create one page that has a list of all of your tabs that you have currently open. So I'm going to go ahead and click that and show you what it looks like. And it takes a moment. You notice it takes it down to one tab, and here it lists all the tabs that you currently have open. There are some things you can do in one tab. You can restore all, which means it'll take you right back to your tabs, how you had them before, and if you notice, they're all up here along the top. And it's going to take just a moment to load them all. Now I'm going to go ahead and click it again and show you a couple of other things. Right here, I'm back to one tab. If you want to look at just one of these tabs, you can go ahead and click on it. It'll create a tab here. Click on it and it'll take you right back to where you were. I'm going to go back here. Maybe you still need a bunch of these tabs, but you want to get rid of one of them, and I'm going to get rid of this Masterpieces Google search. If you hover over it, you'll get a little X next to it. If you click it, it'll take it off of your list. You can delete all of them and start fresh. There are a few other of these pieces of productivity you can use. Share all. If you click on Share All, it will give you a QR code that you can place on a website. Maybe you want students to have access to a bunch of web pages, or maybe you're working with another teacher to do a unit and they need to see all of these web pages as well. I really like doing this because it's a lot easier than trying to bookmark things. I hate when I get this really long list of bookmarks, and usually I go through and delete all of them. If you see over here, I'm showing you my list of bookmarks. This is actually a lot. And sometimes you bookmark things because you think, oh, I'll take a look at it later. And I never do. And then I have to go through and delete all of these. This is a nice way to do this if you are working on one specific unit. Now there's another extension that I'm going to show you that will do the same thing for you. And it'll take you to an external site and save everything, but we'll get to that one in just a moment. Now I'm going to go ahead and open all of these back up because I'm going to use them. All right, so I have all of my tabs back up, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one tab. Now here I am back at my Chrome Web Store. The next one I want to show you is the Google URL Shortener. And there are lots of URL shorteners out there. I like this one because you can do it right here from your browser bar. That's what this area up here is called, the browser bar. And for this one, I'm going to go back to this article on the masterpieces that you can touch. And if you notice, this web address is quite long, and I'm actually going to drag out my Omnibox to show you how long it is, and it even goes past what I can drag it out to. So if you want to link this or put this link on a web page, that's really long. It looks cluttered if you want to email it to someone. So if you click this, it's the Google URL Shortener, and it looks like a little TV screen with a green box in the middle. If you click on that, you get this little pop-up, and it gives you a very, very short web address. There are some things you can do here. You can copy it, and that'll copy it directly to your clipboard. And I'm going to go ahead and create another tab, and I'm going to go into my address bar and paste, and it will take you right to that same web page that you were on previously. But it gives you just a nice, neat looking web address. There's one other neat thing you can do with Google Web Shortener. I'm going to go ahead and click on it again for this web or for this particular page. And you can click on QR code. And a QR code is something that you can scan with a device like a smartphone or a tablet, and it will also take you directly to this page. Sometimes I like to take a screenshot of this, put it on a flyer on my door. I have one that'll take my students directly to my web page or to the library's web page. These are nice things to have around, especially during parent-teacher conferences, so parents can scan and bookmark important pages that they'll need throughout the year. This is a nice versatile extension. This next one is something new to me, and it's one of my favorite brand new extensions that I just found in the past couple of days, and it's called Doc Quickly. And Doc Quickly looks like the Google Drive icon up here in my extension bar. And I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and it'll give you a pop-up, and it'll allow you to create a new document, spreadsheet, presentation, drawing, or form in whichever Google account you're signed into. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Document. And here it goes. It takes me right to my untitled document, which is fantastic. I don't have to go into my drive. I don't have to click anywhere. I can do it right here from my bar. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. The last extension for teachers that I'd like to show you is called Email This Page. Sometimes you're looking at a website and it's something you really want to remember, so you want to email it to yourself. This is another thing you can do instead of bookmarking. And I'm going to go back to this same article on touchable art, and I've installed Email This Page, and it looks like a little envelope. There are a couple of things you have to do to set this one up. One, as soon as you install it, it'll take you to a page and ask you to add your email address. So whichever email address you'd like this information to go to, you'll go ahead and type that in. And then you have to go into your email and verify by clicking on a link, just like you would with any other account you set up online. So I would like to email this to myself. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the envelope. And it takes a second, but you'll get a pop-up here that says sent to and the email address that you've entered. And I've tried this a few times, and it does show up in your email. I'm not going to take you to my email inbox. Let's take a look at some extensions that you can use with students. If you're using a Google Apps for Education domain with your students, if you're using it in school, you probably are, most schools restrict students from adding these to their Chrome. But if you contact your domain administrator, who's usually someone in your tech department, there's usually more than one someone's, they can actually add these extensions or any extensions you'd like right to your student's account. The student doesn't have to do anything. The first one I want to show you, and the first few I'd like to show you, are really great for students who require accommodations through a 504 or an IEP. These extensions are also great for you for your teacher evaluation. This will be evidence that you're differentiating. And I've found that these work for all kinds of students, not just students with IEPs and 504s. The first two I'd like to show you are pretty similar. They're called Speak It and Select and Speak. I'm going to use this same article, and I'm going to click first on Speak It, and it's this little speaker. And actually, I went out of order. The first thing you need to do is highlight a part of the article. And I'm going to highlight this very first paragraph here. And then I'm going to click on the microphone. And as you can see, it reads to the student. Now, Speak It's okay. The voice is a little robotic. There's another one called Select and Speak. And it's over here in my list of extensions. And it just looks like a play button. You do the same thing. You highlight the area that you'd like to have read, and you click the play button. And to stop it, you just click on the pause button again, or that same button, it turns into a pause button. I like the second one. I think the voice is a little easier to understand, but you can try both of those with students who may need it and let them choose which one they'd like to use. The next one is great for everyone. I actually use this one all the time. It's Google Dictionary, and this is an extension that's actually created by Google. And for Google Dictionary, it's right here. It looks like a little red book with a black spine. And all you have to do is highlight a word. And you notice we're still getting our search magnifying glass from our earlier extension. If you click on the book, it'll bring up that word. It'll bring up all the definitions. It'll bring up a web definition. It'll give you synonyms. You can click on those and it will take you to a website that will show you those. You can also click on the little microphone here or the little speaker here, and it'll read it for you. This is great for you if you're looking at new words, maybe a word you've never seen. This is very, very excellent for students, especially when they're doing research and coming across a whole lot of unknown words at one time. Another extension that's great for students, especially students who require accommodations, is called Clearly. And Clearly looks like this desk lamp right here. And what Clearly does is it takes away all the distracting stuff. It takes away all the ads, all of these pictures, and shows you just the text. Clearly has partnered with Evernote, and if you happen to be using Evernote in your class, you can actually save just the text to your Evernote. But I'm going to show you what it looks like just with the text present. If you notice, it gives you just the one picture, and it's taken away all of this stuff at the top on the right-hand side. It still gives credit where credit is due, tells you who wrote it and when they wrote it. But now students have just the basic article. Now, there are still a few pictures here because they're embedded right within the article, but these are pictures that can actually be helpful to students because they have something to do with what they're reading. All this stuff on the right and left that was here before, and I'm going to take you back and show you what that looks like. This stuff around here has nothing to do with this article. Students get distracted by these buttons. They always want to click on them. So now, let's take a look at it again. Now they see just the article with just the photos that were meant for this particular article. Another extension I like to use with students, especially students who have IEPs, is called Dyslexic Reader. I have several students this year who've been diagnosed with dyslexia, and they have a difficult time reading in books, but there's even more of a challenge, it seems, for them to read something on the screen. And we do a lot of screen reading now. What this extension does is it changes the font on any web page. Now, it won't change it on things like Word or Google Drive, but if you have them on a site like the New York Times, it will change all of the font, all of the text. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and it's this little button here. It says off right now. If you toggle it and click on, you notice that my font has changed. What this font looks like is it adds weight or some darkness to the bottom of letters, and it keeps them from bouncing around for students. The two students I've used it with really like it, and we've put it on their Chrome when they log into their Chromebook, and they love it. They leave it on all the time. To me, it looks a little blurry, but they think it's wonderful. So this is something you might want to try. I've read some reviews that said it doesn't work for some students, but give it a try. If it works for them, great. If it doesn't, then just take it off of their list of extensions. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off, and all you have to do is click on it again, and it'll say off up here, and it'll take it back to the font that was original to this website. I also like to use Docs Quickly. That's this one that looks like the drive again with students. It cuts down on the time that they have to toggle back and forth from place to place. So this is great for students and for teachers. The last one I like to show you is called Hacker Vision. And I use this one especially when I've been at the computer for a long time. Sometimes this white background with the black words can really put stress on your eyes. And what Hacker Vision does is it makes it a high contrast dark theme, and it'll do this on any website. The icon for this is a white H in a black square. And you get this pop-up, and you can turn Hacker Vision on and off. I have it off, so I'm going to resume. And if you notice now, everything is black and white. And I've noticed that it really makes a difference on eye strain. And this also, there are probably some students who have a very hard time reading on screen. This might be something to try with them. I really like this one because it's an extension that doesn't change anything other than the color. And I've had some students who don't have any learning disability or any trouble seeing that they just prefer a black background to a white one. Now I'm going to show you just a couple of extensions that can help you at home. These might not be things that you use in your classroom, but they might be used while you're planning or just to make your online life a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and turn off Hacker Vision. And to do that, you just click on the H again and click Pause Hacker. And if you notice, it'll take you back to the standard view. The first one I'd like to show you is Pocket. And Pocket is actually an external website that allows you to collect and organize bookmarks. I have it pulled up here, and it requires you to sign in, but you can do that once you add your extension. So it looks like a pocket, and it's my very last one here. It actually looks like a pocket on a pair of jeans. What you can do is, once again, I'm back at this same article, and I'm going to click the pocket. And it'll take you to the pocket page, and it'll ask you to log in. And I'm actually going to click on Open Pocket. Sometimes it opens it, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure why that is, but it's just a click. And if you notice, this article pops up here. It's kind of like Pinterest, if you're familiar with that, but it just has your stuff on it, not everybody else's. And I really like this when I'm planning a unit because I can put all of these things in here, and instead of, I'm going to show you what bookmarks look like. These bookmarks over here just give you the title and a tiny, and sometimes not even, a little icon. Here you get a thumbnail of what that website looked like, which I think is really great because I'm a visual learner and the titles don't do much for me. But when I see the picture, I can say, oh yeah, I remember what that article was about. This has a lot of features. You can look at it in a list view. You can look at it, you can just look at articles. If you have videos on here, you can just look at videos. You can just look at images. I'm going to take it back to all items and then back to these thumbnails. And I really do liken this to Pinterest because it does just show you your stuff instead of everybody's stuff. Pinterest is great when you're searching for something new. This is great when you want to look at a really focused collection of things that are just yours. Once you install Pocket, it will allow you to create a Pocket account, and this is what it'll look like once you get to it. There's a premium package, and I haven't even looked into what the premium package for Pocket entails because I haven't needed anything more than the free version supplies me with. So this is the one extension that I'm going to show you that you'd have to create an account for an external website. All right, I'm going to go back to our standard article here. And you can, for those of you who use Pinterest, you can actually add a pin it button to your browser bar up here. And it's right here. It looks like the Pinterest P. If you click on it, it'll search for all the pictures. And I'm going to pin this one. And it'll take me to my boards. And let's see, I can pick one. Let's put this one in crafts. And it'll pin it to that board. If you're an avid user of Pinterest, you may already have this one on here. If you're new to Pinterest, it's really nice. It saves you some time. All right, this one is a little interesting. Sometimes you see a website, and to really look into its functionality, you have to sign up. But it might be something that you're not sure you really want to use. You just want to kind of explore for a little bit. There is an extension that will create a temporary email address for you. and it's called Crazy Mailing. And it's this orange block right here, and it has crazy googly eyes in it. And I am going to sign up for Slacker Radio. And this is the sign up page, but I don't want to do it with my email address because I'm not sure if it's something I'm going to like. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this orange block, and it gives you right here a temporary email address that will last for 10 minutes. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it into the email spot. And then this is going to ask me to create a password just like everything else. And it asks for my birth year. I'm going to show you my actual birth year and my zip code and my gender. And I'm going to go ahead and sign up, and it takes you to it. Now, a lot of account-based programs, things that they want you to sign up for with your email address, won't let you in until you've verified your email address. This one will allow you to do that. Now, Slacker Radio doesn't ask for that, but what will happen here is under this block, it says right now that I have no new messages. It'll actually say you have a message. If you click on the link, it will take you to the verify page. And you can take your 10 minutes and go ahead and look around in here. You don't have to come up with sometimes you do this and then you have to, if you want to log in with another email address, it's difficult. This one just allows you to look at it temporarily. I've used this one a few times just so I could look at things, and if it turns out to be something that I don't like, it doesn't matter that it's going to expire because I'm not going to go back to it anyway. If I realize that I really like the site, then I'll log out and sign back in with my actual email address. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. The last one I'm going to show you is kind of interesting. I'm going to take you back to our article on art. And this one I'm actually going to have to install. So I'm going to go to the Chrome Web Store. And this one is called Ad Blocker. And let's see, it's an extension. So I'm going to click on extensions. Oh, it went away. Let's try it again. And I'm going to click on extensions. And it's the very first one, and it's always the very first one when I've searched, so it's probably going to be the first one for you. I'm going to click on free, and of course you get your pop-up making sure that you really want it. I'm going to click add, and you notice over here it pops up and you get your notification. The first time you add it, it's going to take you to an external website from the creators of Ad Blocker, and it's going to ask that if you can, you give a donation. The gentleman who created this website actually quit his job to work specifically on Ad Blocker, and it's taking a little bit of time to come up. And let's see, it just takes a moment. And it asks if you would, please donate $10, $20, whatever you can afford. They will offer a refund, and I'm just showing you this one. I'm going to delete it because right now I'm not ready to prepare to donate to the Ad Blocker people. So I'm going to go ahead and click out of that, but I do want to show you what it does, and this will do this for any website. You notice here we're on the New York Times website, and we do have some ads. We have an ad here at the top. There's one up here in the corner. There's one here on the side. And now that we have Ad Blocker in, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page. And when it pops up, these ads will be gone. If you notice as it comes up, those ads that were there before are no longer there. And now we are looking at an ad-free page. If you use things like YouTube and maybe some other video viewing sites or TV viewing sites that have ads, the Ad Blocker will block those as well. That's one that you need to decide if you feel it's ethical or not. I don't seem to have a problem with it, but I am going to delete this one because I'm not ready to contribute to the Ad Blocker people. But I'm going to show you how to get rid of an extension. Maybe some of these you just don't like. You added them all to give them a try, but you don't like them. So here under the hamburger, this is where all of your settings are. I'm going to click on it, And if you scroll all the way to the bottom to more tools, the very first choice is extensions. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you'll be taken to another page that lists every extension that you have in your browser bar and those ones that don't require an icon, like highlight to search. If you notice, these are all the extensions that I have added or at one time used. And I'm going to take you right up here to ad block. You can disable it, which means it's still part of your Chrome, but it just doesn't show up over here and it won't work. I'm going to re-enable it. If you notice, it pops up back over here. You can also delete it completely by simply clicking on the trash can. It'll ask you if you're sure. And now it's completely gone. If you'd like to reinstall, you just go back to the Chrome Web Store, click on free, and go through the process again. Like I said, there are thousands of extensions in the Chrome Web Store, and new ones get added every day. And a lot of them are created by just Google users who want to see a certain functionality. So I come back quite often and look through these. Plus, if you do a Google search for 10 best Chrome extensions or just best Chrome extensions, there are a lot of blogs out there that will show you what's available, and they give them a little review. One other thing I'd like to show you, I'm going to click on extensions again. And I'm going to take us back to that ad blocker. There's another way you can check to see if this is actually something you want to use. People leave reviews for all of these extensions. If you notice here, if you just click on it, it'll take you to this pop-up page, and you can click on this tab that says reviews, and it will show you all the people who have mentioned it. And right now there are over 100,000 people using AdBlock, and it'll tell you what they think. Sometimes you click on these if it's one you just want to try. This might be a really good place to start, because you can look at what other people are saying. If all the reviews are bad, it's probably not one you want to use. Also, you want to take a look at how many people have reviewed it. If there are hundreds of thousands, that means it's probably one that's doing really well. And also over here, it'll show you how many people are using in this, and this is over 10 million. So this is obviously an extension that does what it claims it's going to do. So this was a look at extensions that you can use for yourself, that you can use at home, and that you can use with students.